Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Mahāparinibbāna Sutta, the Great Passing, the Buddha's Last Days. Thus have I heard. Once the Lord was staying at Rajagaha, on a mountain called Vulture's Peak. Now, just then, King Ajatasattu Vedehiputta of Magadha wanted to attack the Wajiyans. He said, "I will strike the Wajiyans, who are so powerful and strong. I will cut them off and destroy them. I will bring them to ruin and destruction." And King Ajatasattu said to his chief minister, the Brahmin Vasakara, "Brahmin, go to the blessed Lord, worship him with your head to his feet in my name, ask if he is free from sickness or disease, if he is living at ease, vigorously and comfortably, and then say, 'Lord, King Ajatasattu Vedehiputta of Magadha wishes to attack the Wajiyans, and says, I will strike the Wajiyans, bring them to ruin and destruction. And whatever the Lord declares to you, report that faithfully back to me, for Tathagatas never lie." "Very good, sire," said Vasakara, and, having had the state carriages harnessed, he mounted one of them and drove in state from Rajagaha to Vulture's Peak, riding as far as the ground would allow, then continuing on foot to where the Lord was. He exchanged courtesies with the Lord, then sat down to one side and delivered the king's message. Now, the venerable Ananda was standing behind the Lord, fanning him. And the Lord said, "Ananda, have you heard that the Wajiyans hold regular and frequent assemblies?" "I have heard, Lord, that they do." "Ananda, as long as the Wajiyans hold regular and frequent assemblies, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. Have you heard that the Wajiyans meet in harmony, break up in harmony, and carry on their business in harmony?" "I have heard, Lord, that they do." "Ananda, as long as the Wajiyans meet in harmony, break up in harmony, and carry on their business in harmony, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. Have you heard that the Wajiyans do not authorize what has not been authorized already, and do not abolish what has been authorized, but proceed according to what has been authorized by their ancient tradition?" "I have, Lord." "Have you heard that they honor, respect, revere, and salute the elders among them, and consider them worth listening to? That they do not forcibly abduct others' wives and daughters, and compel them to live with them? That they honor, respect, revere, and salute the Wajiyan shrines at home and abroad, notwithstanding the proper support made and given before? That proper provision is made for the safety of arahants, so that such arahants may come in future to live there, and those already there may dwell in comfort?" "I have, Lord." "Ananda, so long as such proper provision is made, the Vajjayans may be expected to prosper and not decline. Then the Lord said to the Brahmin Vasakara, "Once, Brahmin, when I was at the Sarandada shrine in Vaisali, I taught the Vajjayans these 7 principles for preventing decline, and as long as they keep to these 7 principles, as long as these principles remain in force, the Vajjayans may be expected to prosper and not decline." At this, Vasakara replied, "Reverend Gautama, if the Vajjayans keep to even one of these principles, they may be expected to prosper and not decline, far less all 7. Certainly, the Vajjayans will never be conquered by King Ajatasattu by force of arms, but only by means of propaganda and setting them against one another. And now, Reverend Gautama, may I depart? I am busy and have much to do." "Brahmin, do as you think fit." Then Vasakara, rejoicing and delighted at the Lord's words, rose from his seat and departed. Soon after Vasakara had gone, the Lord said, "Ananda, go to whatever monks there are round about Rajagaha, and summon them to the assembly hall." "Very good, Lord," said Ananda, and did so. Then he came to the Lord, saluted him, stood to one side, and said, "Lord, the order of monks is assembled. Now is the time for the Lord to do as he sees fit." Then the Lord rose from his seat, went to the assembly hall, sat down on the prepared seat, and said, "Monks, I will teach you 7 things that are conducive to welfare. Listen, pay careful attention, and I will speak." "Yes, Lord," said the monks. And the Lord said, "As long as the monks hold regular and frequent assemblies, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. As long as they meet in harmony, break up in harmony, and carry on their business in harmony, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. As long as they do not authorize what has not been authorized already, and do not abolish what has been authorized, but proceed according to what has been authorized by the rules of training, as long as they honor, respect, revere, and salute the elders of long standing, who are long ordained, fathers and leaders of the order, as long as they do not fall prey to desires which arise in them and lead to rebirth, as long as they are devoted to forest lodgings, as long as they preserve their personal mindfulness, so that in future the good among their companions will come to them, and those who have already come will feel at ease with them. As long as the monks hold to these 7 things, and are seen to do so, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. I will tell you another 7 things, conducive to welfare. As long as monks do not rejoice, delight, and become absorbed in works, in chattering, in sleeping, in company, in evil desires, in mixing and associating with evil friends, as long as they do not rest content with partial achievements, as long as the monks hold to these 7 things and are seen to do so, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. I will tell you another 7 things, conducive to welfare. As long as monks continue with faith, with modesty, with fear of doing wrong, with learning, with aroused vigour, with established mindfulness, with wisdom. I will tell you another 7 things. As long as monks develop the enlightenment factors of mindfulness, of investigation of phenomena, of energy, of delight, of tranquility, of concentration, of equanimity, I will tell you another 7 things. As long as monks develop the perception of impermanence, of non-self, of impurity, of danger, of overcoming, of dispassion, of cessation, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. Monks, I will tell you 6 things that are conducive to communal living. As long as monks, both in public and in private, show loving kindness to their fellows in acts of body, speech and thought, share with their virtuous fellows whatever they receive as a rightful gift, including the contents of their alms bowls, which they do not keep to themselves, keep consistently, unbroken and unaltered, those rules of conduct that are spotless, leading to liberation, praised by the wise, unstained and conducive to concentration, and persist therein with their fellows both in public and in private. Continue in that noble view that leads to liberation, to the utter destruction of suffering, remaining in such awareness with their fellows, both in public and in private. As long as monks hold to these 6 things and are seen to do so, they may be expected to prosper and not decline. And then the Lord, while staying at Vulture's Peak, gave a comprehensive discourse. This is morality. This is concentration. This is wisdom. Concentration, when imbued with morality, brings great fruit and profit. Wisdom, when imbued with concentration, brings great fruit and profit. The mind, imbued with wisdom, becomes completely free from the corruptions, that is, from the corruption of sensuality, of becoming, of false views, and of ignorance. And when the Lord had stayed at Rajagaha as long as he wished, he said to the Venerable Ananda, "Come, Ananda, let us go to Ambalatthika." "Very good, Lord," said Ananda, and the Lord went there with a large company of monks. And the Lord stayed in the royal park at Ambalatthika, and there he delivered a comprehensive discourse. This is morality. This is concentration. This is wisdom. Having stayed at Ambalatthika as long as he wished, the Lord said to Ananda, "Let us go to Nalanda," and they did so. At Nalanda, the Lord stayed in the Pawarika's mango grove. Then the Venerable Sariputta came to see the Lord, saluted him, sat down to one side and said, "It is clear to me, Lord, that there never has been, will be, or is now another ascetic or Brahmin who is better or more enlightened than the Lord. You have spoken boldly with a bull's voice, Sariputta. You have roared the lion's roar of certainty. How is this? Have all the Arahant Buddhas of the past appeared to you, and were the minds of all those lords open to you, so as to say, these lords were of such virtue, such was their teaching, such their wisdom, such their way, such their liberation? No, Lord. And have you perceived all the Arahant Buddhas who will appear in the future? No, Lord. Well then, Sariputta, you know me as the Arahant Buddha, and do you know the Lord is of such virtue, such is his teaching, such his wisdom, such his way, such his liberation? No, Lord. So, Sariputta, you do not have knowledge of the minds of the Buddhas of the past, the future, or the present. Thus, Sariputta, have you not spoken boldly with a bull's voice, and roared the lion's roar of certainty with your declaration? Lord, the minds of the Arahant Buddhas of the past, future, and present are not open to me, but I know the drift of the Dharma. Lord, it is as if there were a royal frontier city with mighty bastions and a mighty encircling wall in which was a single gate, at which was a gatekeeper, wise, skilled and clever, who kept out strangers and let in those he knew. And he, constantly patrolling and following along a path, might not see the joins and clefts in the bastion, even such as a cat might creep through. But whatever larger creatures entered or left the city must all go through this very gate. And it seems to me, Lord, that the drift of the Dharma is the same. All those Arahant Buddhas of the past attained to supreme enlightenment by abandoning the 5 hindrances, defilements of mind that weaken the understanding, having firmly established the 4 foundations of mindfulness in their minds, and realized the 7 factors of enlightenment as they really are. All the Arahant Buddhas of the future will do likewise, and you, Lord, who are now the Arahant, fully enlightened Buddha, have done the same. Then, while staying at Nalanda, in Pawarika's mango grove, the Lord gave a comprehensive discourse to the monks. This is morality. This is concentration. This is wisdom. Concentration, when imbued with morality, brings great fruit and profit. Wisdom, when imbued with concentration, brings great fruit and profit. The mind, imbued with wisdom, becomes completely free from the corruptions, that is, from the corruption of sensuality, of becoming, of false views, and of ignorance. And having stayed at Nalanda as long as he wished, the Lord said to Ananda, "Let us go to Pattaligama," and they did so. At Pattaligama they heard say, "The Lord has arrived here," and the lay followers of Pattaligama came to the Lord, saluted him, sat down to one side, and said, "May the Lord consent to stay at our rest house," and the Lord consented by silence. Understanding his consent, they rose from their seats, saluted the Lord, and, passing him by to the right, went to the rest house, and strewed the floor, prepared seats, provided a water pot, and filled the oil lamp. Then they went to the Lord, saluted him, stood to one side, and said, "All is ready at the rest house, Lord. Now is the time to do as the Lord wishes." Then the Lord dressed, took his robe and bowl, and went with his monks to the rest house, where he washed his feet, went in, and sat down facing east with his back against the central pillar. And the monks, having washed their feet, went in and sat down with their backs to the west wall, facing east, and with the Lord sitting in front of them. And the lay followers of Pataliggāma, having washed their feet, went in and sat down with their backs to the east wall, facing west, and with the Lord before them. Then the Lord addressed the lay followers of Pataliggāma. Householders, there are these 5 perils to one of bad morality, of failure in morality. What are they? In the first place, he suffers great loss of property through neglecting his affairs. In the second place, he gets a bad reputation for immorality and misconduct. In the third place, whatever assembly he approaches, whether of Khatiyas, Brahmins, householders, or ascetics, he does so diffidently and shyly. In the fourth place, he dies confused. In the fifth place, after death, at the breaking up of the body, he arises in an evil state, a bad fate, in suffering and hell. These are the 5 perils to one of bad morality. And, householders, there are these 5 advantages to one of good morality and of success in morality. What are they? In the first place, through careful attention to his affairs, he gains much wealth. In the second place, he gets a good reputation for morality and good conduct. In the third place, whatever assembly he approaches, whether of Khatiyas, Brahmins, householders, or ascetics, he does so with confidence and assurance. In the fourth place, he dies unconfused. In the fifth place, after death, at the breaking up of the body, he arises in a good place, a heavenly world. These are the 5 advantages to one of good morality and of success in morality. Then the Lord instructed, inspired, fired and delighted the lay followers of Pataliggāma with talk on Dharma until far into the night. Then he dismissed them, saying, "Householders, the night is nearly over. Now is the time for you to do as you think fit." "Very good, Lord," they said, and rising and saluting the Lord, they passed him by to the right and departed. And the Lord spent the remainder of the night in the rest house, left empty by their departure. Now, at this time, Sunita and Vasakara, the Magadhan ministers, were building a fortress in Pataliggāma as a defence against the Vajjayans. And at that time, a multitude of thousands of Dīvas were taking up lodging in Pataliggāma. And in the parts where powerful Dīvas settled, they caused the minds of the most powerful royal officials to pick those sites for their dwellings, and where middle and lower ranking Dīvas settled, so too they caused the minds of royal officials of corresponding grade to pick those sites for their dwellings. And the Lord, with his divine eye surpassing that of humans, saw the thousands of Dīvas taking up residence in Pataliggāma. And getting up at break of day, he said to the venerable Ananda, "Ananda, who is building a fortress at Pataliggāma?" "Lord, Sunita and Vasakara, the Magadhan ministers, are building a fortress against the Vajjayans." "Ananda, just as if they had taken counsel with the 33 gods, Sunita and Vasakara are building a fortress at Patiligama. I have seen with my divine eye how thousands of Dīvas were taking up lodging there, and in the parts where powerful Dīvas settled, they caused the minds of the most powerful royal officials to pick those sites for their dwellings, and where middle and lower ranking Dīvas settled, so too they caused the minds of royal officials of corresponding grade to pick those sites for their dwellings. Ananda, as far as the Aryan realm extends, as far as its trade extends, this will be the chief city, Pataliputta, scattering its seeds far and wide. And Pataliputta will face 3 perils, from fire, from water, and from internal dissension. Then Sunita and Vasakara called on the Lord, and, having exchanged courtesies, stood to one side and said, "May the Reverend Gautama accept a meal from us tomorrow with his order of monks." And the Lord consented by silence. Understanding his consent, Sunita and Vasakara went home, and there had a fine meal of hard and soft food prepared. When it was ready, they reported to the Lord, "Reverend Gautama, the meal is ready." Then the Lord, having dressed in the morning, took his robe and bowl, went with the order of monks to the residence of Sunita and Vasakara, and sat down on the prepared seat. Then Sunita and Vasakara served the Buddha and his order of monks with choice, soft and hard foods till they were satisfied. And when the Lord took his hand away from the bowl, they sat down on low stools to one side. And as they sat there, the Lord thanked them with these verses: "In whatever realm the wise man makes his home, he should feed the virtuous leaders of the holy life. Whatever Dīvas there are who report this offering, they will pay him respect and honour for this. They tremble for him as a mother for her son, and he for whom Dīvas tremble ever happy is." Then the Lord rose from his seat and took his departure. Sunita and Vasakara followed closely behind the Lord, saying, "Whichever gate the ascetic Gautama goes out by today, that shall be called the Gautama gate, and whichever ford he uses to cross the Ganges, that shall be called the Gautama ford." And so the gate by which the Lord went out was called the Gautama gate. And then the Lord came to the river Ganges, and just then the river was so full that a crow could drink out of it, and some people were looking for a boat, and some were looking for a raft, and some were binding together a raft of reeds to get to the other side. But the Lord, as swiftly as a strong man might stretch out his flexed arm or flex it again, vanished from this side of the Ganges and reappeared with his order of monks on the other shore. And the Lord saw those people who were looking for a boat, looking for a raft, and binding together a raft of reeds to get to the other side, and, seeing their intentions, he uttered this verse on the spot: "When they want to cross the sea, the lake or pond, people make a bridge or raft. The wise have crossed already."